Call the member for Mackellar.
Mr Deputy Speaker, and I thank the member for Canberra for his contribution. I have to say that the Labor Party moving an MPI criticising the Liberal Party and this government on economic management is ambitious, and we love ambition in this place, like watching a bear try and walk on its hind legs, or watching a monkey try to grind its own organ. And so we have seen today that effect. The member for Canberra demonstrated that he really is. The member for Fraser has really demonstrated today that this MPI motion is definitely fishing behind the net, because there is very little there. Mr Speaker, the national accounts, Mr Deputy Speaker, the national accounts show that the economy is on the right track, especially when you consider the global environment in which that is occurring in, and especially when you consider that this happened in a quarter when many in the Canberra Press Gallery were telling our fellow countrymen that they would face a Labor government in the near term. $387 billion in extra taxes, over-regulation, anti-business sentiment. Is it any surprise that most people decided to keep their hands in their pocket? But since we came into government, we have done what we said we would do. We promised to create jobs. We've created over 1 million of them, Mr Deputy Speaker. We said we would pay down debt. We are now in surplus. We said that we would maintain our AAA credit rating, which was under Chairman Swan's leadership, under negative credit watch. We have managed to do that. We have deregulated this economy so people are free to make their own choices about how they want to spend their money and where companies want to invest in the most productive areas. We said that we would make it easier to trade. We have had 3 substantial free trade agreements, and another 2 will shortly be before this parliament. We said we would make it easier to invest and to attract investment to Australia, and we have done that. And we said, most importantly, that we would lower taxes for Australians, because we believe that they know how to spend their money better than we do, and that they should keep more of the money that they earn, and we have done that already since the government has been re-elected. And why did we do all of this? Not because it made us feel good, but because it did good. We wanted to lower the gender wages gap. We have done that. It is now at a record low. We wanted to lower the number of people who are dependent on welfare, and we are now at the lowest level that has been at in nearly 45 years. We wanted to increase the number of jobs and employment opportunity in our economy and in our country, and we have managed to do that, and these are things that should be celebrated. We said we wanted to increase infrastructure spending, not because it looked good on a spreadsheet, but because we wanted people to spend more time with their friends and family and their children than they were spending in traffic. And I come from an area of this great country, Mr Deputy Speaker, where it is not unheard of for people to spend 4 hours a day in traffic congestion trying to get to work from the Northern Beaches to Parramatta. And that's not right, and it's not fair. And it happened because the Carr-Keneally government spent 16 years doing nothing but telling people not to come to Sydney, while at the same time those opposite, under the Rudd-Gillard-Rudd government, increased our immigration intake to 400,000 people, many of whom came and settled in Sydney. If there is anything, a greater sign of the intellectual bankruptcy of the Labor Party, it is the pain and misery that they have caused to millions of people of Sydney every single working day that they have. That is what the Labor Party's tradition is. That's where they will lead us and our economy if ever given a chance. And that's what we saw when they were in government. That's what we saw. It's been just over 10 years, Mr Deputy Speaker, since we had the global financial crisis. Labor borrowed over $500 billion in debt. They gave us pink bats. They gave us cash for clunkers. And now we hear they can't even use recycled plastic when taking $100,000 donations in cash. Wages were down, growth was down, hope was down. But chaos was up. Unfunded programs, they were way up, and debt was up. Everything that should have been up was down, and everything that was down should have been up. They left us with an unfunded NDIS scheme. They left us with an education funding that was unfunded. They cut infrastructure and defence spending to record lows. They did more damage in 6 short years than any other government since Gough Whitlam.